What's up, everybody? This is Round by Round with Derek and Daniel, and today is going to be the third part in a four-part series on Pyramid of Strength and how to periodize training. So, Daniel, tell us a little bit about your experience training with the local champ here, Edner Cherry. Tell us that. How did that go for you?
Well, last year I weighed in at like 155, and right now I weigh in about like 140. And I lost about 15 pounds of not working out since then. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
workouts were really, really intense. I was gaining size. I was eating a lot more food. I probably do boxing about 2 days a week out of the 5 days of training. We'd be doing more like calisthenics training, endurance sprints, long distance runs, and we're just throwing med balls using extra weight, our own weight, rope climbing, tire dragging, agility, sprints, and then we'd do that 3 days a week. And I'd be hungry as fuck throughout the entire week. So I'd be eating up a lot of shitload of meat and stuff like fish, everything. And I'd be like gaining size, like good size, drinking lots of water, like a gallon a day. And I was like good weight, dude. I was able to do a shitload of pull-ups, long distance runs, like 8 mile runs. Came in first place in the 5K race, local in Wauchula. Beat the whole track team. I sprint fast as fuck back then. I
You
mean,
still do, huh?
back then I was fast as fuck though. I was able to jump like 5 foot boxes, dude. Like, boom, climb on rope like in less than 30 seconds with just the arms, no legs. Like
Yeah.
like 15 muscle ups straight, and I was at a lot heavier deficit than I am now, like 15 pounds of loss since then, and I can't do half that shit right now.
So yeah, and that was all from
that
working
was a
with the champ.
boxing that was a boxing trainer for boxing
Yeah.
who was my amateur coach, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I get a little bit of the stuff you were doing. You were doing like muscle endurance, and your body had a really good response to it. So like, and all that stuff like, do you know how to organize any of that? Like, if I were to say, all right, put all this stuff in your training, how would you organize it?
Well, I have a book written down on some exercises how I would do it,
Okay.
but I would probably have to show them to you, and you tell me how you think of them. Like, what do you think I need to more focus on or take away of?
Oh, okay, I get it. So you have things written down that you've came up with, or you've gotten from other
Yeah,
people,
I've came up with on my own. I've tried
and then
on
you
my
like them.
yeah, and I
All
could
right.
show you, and you could tell me what you think. Like, these are something that I was taught from, like, just a bunch of coaches put in one.
Put in one. So you took up all the things you've liked and you put it in one thing. So psychologically, it's doing a lot for you. You know, and I would say, a program that I like to follow. I'll invite you to just take a trip with me and just check it out and tell me what you think. You know, is my muscle endurance training looks like is I pick four movements. All right, a lower body movement, a pull movement, so a pull up or a body weight row, or I'll pull a sled or something, and then what is it? A pressing movement, so either like push up or dip, or dips on rings or something like that, some type of press, throw on a medicine ball, something like that. And then I would have some type of abdominal movement, so like hanging leg raises, rollouts, crunches, sit-ups, something of that nature. Try to practice the human flag and all that stuff. So four movements pretty much, right? And I would try to keep the reps on each of those movements pretty high, like anywhere from 10 to 20. So let's say if you're doing the maximum amount prescribed, which is 20 for all four movements, that's 80 repetitions, right? For 10 sets. So at the end of the day, your workout has you've done 800 reps. A lot of that body weight stuff, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups,
And this
or
is all helping also with muscle endurance, or this would be.
yeah, it's muscle endurance because you're doing so many reps with your body weight. I mean, imagine if you could structure the workout to where it's, like I said, 20 repetitions for each slot, each of the four slots. So let's say you do 20 jump squats with a sandbag. You know what I mean? You hold a big sandbag, do 20 jump squats, and then you do 20 pull-ups, and then you do 20 dips on rings, and then you do uh 20 leg lifts, right?
Yeah.
That's 80. That's 80 movements. Now, times 10, what is that? 800. So now you just did 800 body weight movements. But that's the first half of the session. Now the second half is some type of sprint, right? Some type of bear sprint or with a speed sled, 180 pounds behind you, 100 pounds behind you. Sprint with that, take it off, sprint without it. You feel much quicker.
Yeah.
So you do those sprints, or you could do farmers carries. Everybody, they're really popular now through strongman, but you load up a bunch of weight on a handle, pick it up and carry it from one end to the other. But you carry it there in a minute, and the rest of that minute you have to break, pick it back up, carry it back the next minute. You take a break, pick it back up, and it will wear you out, man. Like,
Yeah, I've seen you and Ethan try it. I think I could give it a try now that I've been.
yeah. So things like that, conditioning ropes, burpees, sledgehammer, like flipping a tire and using the sledgehammer.
Yep, I like all this.
So, and that's the second half of the workout, and you're doing that for another 10 rounds or sets or however you want to program it. Like if you do rounds, you do it for time. You do sets, you do it for reps. Shit like that. It's like ropes, you can't really put reps on that, so you'd have to do time. Like, all right, a minute, you know what I mean? 30 seconds rest, a minute go, 30 seconds rest. Those 10 rounds of that, So you're doing battling, conditioning ropes, the battling ropes. And mind you, that's after all your push-ups, all your pull-ups, all your sit-ups, all your leg exercises. You know what I mean? So that's all muscular endurance, and it's a real clean way because now you can plug things in and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for your pull-ups, you can plug in muscle-ups. For your pull-ups, you can plug in a rope climb, and you rope climb how many times? Touch the ceiling 5 times.
Whoa.
Climb up, touch, climb down, climb up, touch, climb down. You can plug that in for people. You can
You got the TRX?
gymnastics rings. I got gymnastics rings. So like it's like a TRX, but I feel like you could do a little bit more with it because you could do dips on it, you could do pull-ups on it, rows on it. You can do all kinds of shit. So you plug these exercises into that program, and you can take it. I mean, as far as you want it, because now let's say something crazy. You know what I mean? Let's say if your abilities keep growing and growing and growing. What if you did 50 per slot? 4 exercises, you did 50 repetitions apiece. That's 200 repetitions for 10 rounds. That's like superhuman. That's something that could be a goal you could build up to. Like, who the fuck? Tell me who can do that. You know what I mean? 2,000 repetitions of calisthenics combined. That's abs, push, pull, legs. Like your whole body will be fried. Not just your chest, not just your back, not just your legs, not just your abs. Everything. You know how it feels like when you get a good ab workout and your abs are just fried?
Yeah, and I heard that you could work out your abs 7 days a week.
Yeah.
With no issue. It's just like running.
Yeah. Well, with this approach, you could train it very high frequency.
Because you could technically run every single day and still gain size. Like, you just have to make it up by eating a lot.
Yeah, you just have to eat those calories.
And you get muscle endurance that way.
Yeah.
Because you would be like running endurance-wise, heart, vascular system, your legs, your calves, your feet.
Imagine how hungry you would be too.
Yup. You'd eat pastas up and you'd burn them off. Eat pastas up and burn them off. And like
yeah, dude.
Shitloads of meat.
You'd be burning insane amount of calories. That's why everybody's like,
damn, like you could straight up stay Mexican food like corn tortilla, fajita meat, and still burn that shit off like.
And that's dude.
With ease with boxing. You know what I mean?
And people don't understand that.
And
people don't understand that at work. They're like, dude, how do you eat so much, dude? It's like, I'm fat, but I'm not super fat. Like the people that I work with, man. Like, motherfuckers are twice my size, man. Like, and I'm not saying I'm the skinniest guy either, man. You know what I mean? I got some fat on me, but I ain't, you know what I mean? I can still move. I'm still athletic. I can still run. I can still lift. I can still box. I can still do things pretty efficiently, too. But, you know what I mean? I eat a lot, dude. And that's why I'm look the way I do. Because I eat a lot, dude. Like, people are like, how the fuck do you eat? You have an eating disorder, man. You eat too fucking... And it's like, dude, I'm hungry, you know? I'm always fucking hungry, man. Like, fuck, I can't control myself. Like, I'm fucking hungry. You know what I mean? So, that's why I look the way I do, man. But I bet you if I were to cut out, like... 1,000 calories a day, because I probably eat around 4,000 calories a day, maybe five. But I say if I cut out like 1,000 calories a day, dude, I'd lean the fuck up, dude, because of all the stupid shit I do. And it's not stupid, but you know what I mean. The running, the boxing, the calisthenics, the weights.
So your
Work
issue would
itself.
be the diet. In order for you to gain into the strength training part of it, because you're right now at the muscle endurance, because you eat nothing but junk food.
Well, yeah, well, I noticed that, and when I started putting on strength, and I would put on size too quickly, I was like, whoa, because with muscle growth comes fat growth, but you can minimize that by your cardio. But it came too quickly. I was like, oh shit. But I shot up in muscle, dude. I shot up in fat. Like, I just shot up in weight, period, dude. Like, I put weight on. You know what I mean?
You think you were at your most physically peaked when you were at the lower weight at like 170?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I want to be at 180. You know what I mean? I want to walk around at 180 pounds. Because that's when I was at my best, dude. I was in Iraq. I was 185, 180. And I was fucking beast, dude. And I feel bad when I think about how I let myself go. You know what I mean? But even when I was in Cali, I was 190, and I was pretty good shape. But I wasn't doing as much, though. I wasn't boxing, and I wasn't, what is it? I wasn't lifting weights. I wasn't boxing. I was really just running and doing very little calisthenics. But I did calisthenics and run. And that was it in Cali. And I weighed about 190. And I would say that's probably the second best I've ever been in my life. But when I was in Iraq, I did a little bit of weights. Like, I did deadlifts. I did weighted dips, weighted pull-ups. And I did a lot of sprints, and I did a lot of distance running, and I probably did a little bit of boxing, and I did a lot of calisthenics. Like, I did a lot of pull-ups, I did a lot of roll-ups.
So you would have to stick more into the boxing part of it, so you could lose the size while sustaining your strength.
Yeah,
which you will.
Yeah. I think I need to stick to more of the muscle endurance and
Like
cardiovascular.
would be like running.
Yeah, running and
skipping rope, boxing.
Yeah, like I was thinking, for me, someone like me, I need to definitely stick to running, because running burns a lot of calories. So I got to get my running up, and I also got to get my muscle endurance up. So that's like, sleds, farmer's carries, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, jumping, throwing, you know what I mean? I want to get, the T-handle. It's like a kettlebell, but it's a T-handle. And they're cheap, man. If you got plates already, like everybody out there listening, if you have plates at home, standard plates, don't buy a kettlebell. Go to the hardware store and buy a 1-inch piece of pipe and thread on the bottom. There's like a bottom piece you can get for it, and then thread on the two sides, get a T, thread on the T, you put the two sides on the T, and there you go. And you just put plates in there, and you have an adjustable kettlebell, and it's badass, man. I get mine up to like 100 plus pounds. I could easily put 200 pounds on it. Not that it would be easy to swing, but I could easily load 200 pounds. I just don't have the plates for it. But I swing about 100 pounds, and it feels good, dude. It's nice and heavy. It's a 100-pound kettlebell. I call it a T-handle, but it's the same concept. And I swing it for a lot of reps, and man, you're talking about posterior chain and all of that, dude. Badass exercise. And it gets you tired. Like 20 reps of that with 100 pounds, swinging it, firing up your hamstrings and your glutes, lower back. Shit. Even if you never lift weights and you go hit a deadlift, that deadlift's going to be super strong because you've been practicing that movement. It's like the missing link in calisthenics, because calisthenics, you got your pull-ups, you got your push-ups, you got your dips, you got your bodyweight rows, you know what I mean? But what do you have for your legs? You know what I mean? What do you have in your legs for calisthenics where you could do it 20 times and be like, all right, that burned? Maybe a jump squat, but then eventually that gets old. So guess what? You could grab a sandbag, like a 100-pound sandbag, 200-pound sandbag, and jump with that motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's a sandbag. You're holding it close to your body, and then that engages your back muscle in a different way too. You know what I mean? So you got the sandbag. You could do lunges with the sandbag. You know what I mean? You could do jump squats. You could do jump lunges. You could do all different types of leg exercises with this heavy-ass sandbag that you're having to hold on to. Kind of like in a clinch. When you're fighting and you're in a clinch, that's kind of how you're having to hold that sandbag, so it's working them clinch muscles.